Hi, everybody. Today we're talking about should I get paid by Medicaid to take care of my aging parents? I've had this question from a lot of female caregivers in the past couple of weeks, and I'm going to give you the pros and the cons. I'm Pamela D Wilson. I'm a caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker. Please click below, like, share this channel. Please comment because that helps more caregivers and more people seeking information about health and caregiving and aging find these videos. So as a caregiver, should you quit your job to allow Medicaid to pay you to take care of your aging parent? Now, first of all, I want to make it clear that not all states do this. Medicaid programs are paid in part by federal government money and by state money. Some states have programs and they come by a variety of names because every state is different. Could be called long-term care support services, LTSS, could be by another name. But the idea is that some states will pay family members to stay home and care for an aging parent. Now, as a female, you might think, wow, this is pretty good. I can stay home and get paid to take care of mom and dad. Or, female caregivers have said, well, I asked and my friend's husband or my brother said, yeah, you should do this. Well, of course, men think women should be the caregivers, right? Because then they don't have to be. The other thing that you want to really seriously consider is if you give up a paying job that has benefits and you're contributing to Social Security and your Medicare and your retirement to care for an aging parent, how long will you do this? Because most caregivers get into this and they think, oh, it's only going to be for 6 months. 5 years later, 10 years later, they're saying, oh my God, I didn't know what I got into. I have ruined my life. I would love to go back and get a job, but I can't. I'm stuck being a caregiver 24/7. And then those who maybe have decided to make a change can't find a job because they're underskilled. So while being paid by the government to take care of your parents might seem like a really cool thing, look into the financial aspects for yourself, especially if you are female. Who's going to take care of you when you're older? Now, let's look at it from an opposite perspective. Why would the government do this? Well, the government would pay you to take care of your parent at home because it's less expensive for the government. The government pays less than to have your loved one go maybe into a nursing home or an assisted living community that takes Medicaid. And so basically what this does is it saves the government money on the care for your parent, but it also places the caregiver, in my opinion, at a financial disadvantage for their retirement and at a financial disadvantage for employment. Now, you might wonder, why would the government do this? Well, government control over healthcare is extreme. They fund Medicaid, they fund Medicare. It's the biggest number in the US budget, which would question, why are we paying all this money for healthcare? Why is healthcare in the United States so expensive? Well, when you think about it, who lobbies the government for healthcare? It's the healthcare companies. It's the insurance companies. It's the hospital system. There is so much money here to be had. And I will tell you that money always doesn't benefit the patients and the consumers. But until the patients and the consumers and we as individuals start gaining an understanding of what's really going on in the healthcare system and how it affects us potentially negatively and positively, nothing is going to change. And so I'm going to divert here and take a whole nother thought process on should women caregivers stay home and be paid for by Medicaid to take care of aging parents. So if you think of this, there's not a lot of education about health and preventative health and caregiving and saving for retirement and how expensive it is, right? Now, when you think of this, who runs the education systems? It's the government. It's your state government. And if you've been watching the news, there's a whole lot of things going on about what state governments are doing and what teachers unions are doing, who are very powerful. If you don't know about teachers unions, you might want to look into them in your state. But basically, the government decides what we as individuals learn in school. And that really does lead to whether we go to high school after grade school, whether we go to college, whether we go to a technical college to learn skills. It affects everything in our lives, right? Our health, our ability to be employed, our ability to make money, our ability to know that the more we take care of ourselves when we're younger, the fewer problems we will have at the end of life when we may not have enough money to pay for our care. And again, we have to rely on the government. So healthcare is significantly controlled by the government. Education is significantly controlled by the government. Depends on how you look at this. You can think, wow, that's a great thing. The government is just going to pay for me for my whole entire life. But if healthcare companies control healthcare and that affects the government, does that limit your choices as a consumer, as a patient, as a healthcare consumer? Because if you are caring for an aging parent, you know that some prescriptions are approved by a plan and not approved by a plan. You may be arguing to get treatment for your parent because a health insurance company continually denies those claims. Again, consumers don't have a lot of control when it comes to healthcare. And mostly it's because it's confusing purposely. It's the 20 years that I spent in healthcare, I would say, has been the best education for me to learn about healthcare and to learn about really what goes on underneath all of this. And what consumers don't know and what patients don't know is really what frustrates them and what makes them give up. So your parent needs a medication. It's a struggle. The pharmacy or the health insurance company denied it. You don't fight for it, right? But they really needed that medication. Or maybe there was a treatment that your parent needed, but you got tired of fighting the insurance company month after month after month after month. So you gave up and your parent doesn't get the treatment and they die sooner. Well, who does that benefit? The health insurance companies. So my recommendation, regardless of any decision that you have to make in healthcare, whether it's do I allow Medicaid to pay me to take care of my parent, or treatments or prescriptions or doctors or anything, learn about what's going on in your state and what the government is approving and not approving, what bills are out there, who's advocating for this, and really what is in all of that information and under all of that information. Because healthcare consumers and patients, it's like, I hate to say it, but a lamb being led to slaughter if you don't understand what's going on and you don't get involved. And the problem is, if you don't have the education, you don't know to get involved. So all of this really is a lifelong problem that starts at birth. We have opportunities to learn or to kind of just go along with what's provided by health systems and all of that and be either negatively or positively affected by that. So whichever way you look at it, hey, great, the government's paying for all this. I'm happy to live with those constraints. Or, wow, the government's paying for this and maybe I should get a little bit more involved so I can get the care that I want and the care that my parents want. It's down one path or another. And we can all come together if we begin advocating for consumer and patient care. I'm Pamela D Wilson. Again, please like, share, click on the links in this video so that more people can find hope, help, and support. Go to my website, PamelaDWilson.com. There's a lot of hope, help, and support education there too. And there's over 800 videos here on my YouTube channel. Thanks for being here. I'll see you all again soon in another video.